Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer II, Curse of the Pirate Coast, which is a very, that's not even the actual correct, very long title. Curse of the Vampire Coast. I have pirates on the mind, obviously, first of all, because we're playing this game, but secondly, because I was talking about how we were going to do more pirate stuff. And then I got bogged down in a land war in the jungle again, but can you think of anything that is more pirate stuff than chasing a group of anthropomorphized lizards into the jungle and slaughtering them on the steps of an ancient stone city? I can't. And it turns out, check this, that's something we can actually do. We have so much movement range that we are, in fact, able to catch this fleeing army. So it's a 3/4 health Saurus Old Blood, and a very small number of Sauruses with maces and shields. Hexawaddle's garrison may run out to defend him, and I think if they did, that would probably be okay. Hexawaddle, as a capital city and a proper major settlement, is probably going to have upgraded walls with like the good towers, the special towers. When you build the garrison building in a major settlement, it upgrades the quality of the wall towers and stuff. So actually, I kind of want them to come out here and try to defend this guy. And if they don't come out and try to defend him, I think that's an option they have, then we just eat his army real fast. Okay, they think they can take us. The balance of power bar tells them that they can take us. I am a little nervous, but I do think... yeah, this is worth doing. This is worth trying. Remember, this garrison can't actually, like, walk out of the city and do stuff, so even if we lose this battle, I think they're going to have a hard time retaliating very much, because they're going to have to build up a force, they're going to have to build up a new army, and I'm going to have to build up a new army, and we can do it faster than they can, because Raise Dead is hardcore cheats. So, we do have a leadership banner. You know, we've been having leadership problems on our, like, Morngol monstery units, especially the units that want to be flanking around, and so are sometimes not near our leadership auras. Let's give the Morngols +4 leadership, and I think we'll keep... yeah, we'll keep these banners where they are. And let's do this. So what, 3 units of healthy Saurus warriors, 4 units of Temple Guard, which are heavily armored and armor-piercing, and generally just kind of a big pain in my ass. Plus, what was it, like 2 or 3 dinosaurs? Plus they have some Pterodon riders, I saw, which are flying ranged units, kind of like our deck droppers, but I believe Pterodon riders don't do a huge amount of damage, but they have poison. So they just like fly over your units and throw that poison debuff all over everybody, which I do not care for. Fortunately, we have an awful lot of handgunners, and I have to imagine that the handgunners are going to be pretty good at taking out the Pterodon mob. Oh, so we got a choke point map. That's very interesting. So let me talk about strategy here. You can see there's a river across most of the map, but there's 2 little choke point bridges to cross here. In my experience, the AI on these maps usually likes to try to jam their entire army through one of the branches, so probably what we want to do is move a force up to blockade each of the branches as quickly as possible, and then once they commit to one branch, the force at the other branch can move around behind and flank them. Although, actually, I'm being forced to start pretty far away from the branches. They're going to be much closer. We probably actually won't be able to blockade them because we are very, very slow moving. Alright, first of all, we know this, right? Absolutely, without question, we start as close as possible. We got to get explosions into the area. I'm going to turn off Fire at Will for the moment and turn guard mode back on just for these guys, because I really, really don't want them spending precious ammo on that stuff. We need to get a Gunnery White. I'm pretty sure Gunnery Whites can give you more ammo. Oh, I should decide. Last time we gambled, Randall told us that gambling never pays, right? Is that a thing I remember happening? I'm just gonna sit on 7. We probably have a while before the main battle is joined anyway. We can afford to wait a little while to generate stuff. Let's get all of the handgunners grouped together. And I mean, just pretty much as far forward as possible, right? We wanna run forward into range to hit the bottleneck. And honestly, like, here we'll have 3 of them on this side running forward, and 3 of them on this side running forward. Again, just toward the bottlenecks, although how this is going to work out is a little bit of a little bit of an open question for me because, again, we are very, very slow. And that leaves the polearms and the depth guard with no orders. Probably going to have them start right up here too, and we'll have these guys move in fast because they're our elite troops. And that leaves just the Morngulls. I mean, they're in a fine position. They're just running forward, right? There's a lot of just running forward here. And yeah, I guess you guys are too behind the handgunners. I don't think that the normal gunnery mob is going to have much value here. I don't know how armored pterodon riders are. Actually, the fact that the pistol gunnery mobs seem to be able to fire while moving might be really helpful against the relatively speedy pterodon riders. All right, so we're going to move our Queen Bess, and apparently I selected Silostra there, not the Queen Bess. We're going to move our artillery forward a little bit because as it stands, we're not totally... I'd like to be able to shoot all the way up to here, maybe. And you guys just kind of like that. Probably more like that, right? The group of swords over here moves to stand across this opening. The group of swords on the other side moves to stand across this opening. And frankly, you know, I'm going to have the zombie mob with the polearms also run up here. We're going to have the depth guard stay back a little bit because I don't want them to engage frontally. They're not actually really very tough for how many units they have. Like, the individual guys don't have a lot of health. So I really want them not to be engaged upon. And you all can just run forward. The Morngulls can definitely just run forward. Okay. Let's just get some characters up into the breach and do the thing we're here to do. You know who's going to lead the charge? It's Sir Robert the Invincible. He's got this. Go get him. I do wish Silostra was a little bit faster. And so we're probably going to try to hold off on the summons until battle is actually joined so that we can bring the summons in behind the enemy. And he is really a lot faster than the rest of our army. Even the Morngulls, which are fast, pirate relative, do not stand even a little bit of a chance of keeping up with him. I'm really happy that I picked Silostra. I think she has fun mechanics, and having a little bit of real, actual cavalry is nice. Ooh, wow, holy crap! I'm surprised that a ghost can strike with that kind of physical force. That was a lot of knockback there. That guy went flying like 30, 40 yards, maybe. Alright, what does Overcast Vangeist's Revenge cost? Cannot currently afford. It is more than 13, that's for sure. Okay, 19. I mean, I want to do this, right? Let's, like, do that. That's gonna get some dudes. Oh, wait, I have to make sure she actually has a command to attack. And honestly, the Morngul Haunters should probably be in here as well. Where are my gunners at? Are we close? No. No, we are not close. Well, alright, keep running, I guess. Where are my mortars and stuff? I think you guys are in position to fire. Yeah, I'm going to turn fire at will back on, and we're going to specifically target a unit that's sort of in the middle. I kind of want to target these guys, but not with the first shot. Let's take a good shot at those temple guards. What about the mortars? The mortar range is not quite where it needs to be just yet. The mortars move forward a little bit more. Okay. Let's get back to it. I'm eager to see if this overcasted Vangeist's Revenge is actually awesome. I was going to shoot over the first wave. Wow, yes, that was awesome. I mean, I guess a lot of that damage was to skinks and stuff, but no, even the groups of Sauruses that got hit took a lot of damage there. Wow, the Queen Bess also really connected. Alright, let's get all the handgunners in on these guys first. Really? They landed? Well, that seems like a dubious decision. Should I maybe pull the Morngulls back? We're about to get surrounded here. They're kind of I'm going to pull the Morngulls back. I have no qualms about letting Silostra and Robert just stand in the middle of the enemy army, because they have shown that they are capable of surviving that on a number of occasions. But I don't think the Morngulls are going to, and I want the Morngulls alive. They're useful. They're flanking troops, you know? This would be a good moment to summon some more troops in, just to serve as kind of bait. This would also probably be a good moment to sing the song for the first time. Alright, pterodons are having a tough time. Zombie pirates in. And let's make sure these guys have their orders. Okay, somebody told me last time I played this how to... Is it like this? Yeah, here we go. We can draw a path by holding shift. Give them a more complicated order than just run in a straight line. I gotta say, this is looking pretty bad for them for a start. Let's go mortar fire in here. The Queen Bess should probably be focusing back here as well. We are definitely going to do some very serious damage to our own troops, but fortunately, it'll probably mostly be... actually, do I want them to engage with the Croxagores? I guess engaging the Croxagores here probably holds up the units behind them a little bit better, which keeps them in range of mortar fire and stuff. But what I was going to say is... What was I going to... I don't know. Can't have been that important if I was the one saying it. We're really getting to take advantage of our strengths on this one, which I am very pleased about. Okay, so their lord is having some problems. God, when the Queen Bess connects, it is a very serious amount of damage. Let's switch the gunnery mobs to the big dinosaurs. We should be able to fire over our own troops, I think. Probably time to move the depth guard forward. Yeah, look at how much they've just stopped. Alright, well, the depth guard and the Mongols are together going to fight these guys. Do we not have the angle? It looks like we're not shooting. I thought for sure we'd be able to. Okay, there it goes. I guess it just takes these guys a really long time to reload. Alright, so we have a Vangeist's Revenge up. I don't have enough for an overcast, but if we cast it right here, a lot of it's going to hit skinks, and that we don't need the extra armor-piercing damage for that. Plus, this is going to look awesome. Oh, I kind of missed. I clipped him. That was not a good use of winds. Alright, Celestra, just wander in there. God, look at all of their morale is terrible. How my flankers doing? Get in here. You guys attack them, and you guys attack them, and you guys attack the third unit of them, I guess? Let us not have them shooting poison into the fight any longer than we absolutely have to. So we could go for... We could go for a spellcast here. Do I want to maybe save up a little bit? Overcast Tide Call is only 6. Yeah, let's do an Overcast Tide Call into what's left of the enemy formation. Oh, that's too close. There we go. No, still too close? The arrow was blue. Okay, I'm having a hell of a time getting this spell to go off. There we go. Her spells look really good, too. They've gotten really good at the spell graphics. We got another dinosaur over here who for some reason is still alive. You'd probably fix that. Holy crap. Jesus, when the handgunners have an open target like that, the damage is terrifying. That was like one volley of gunfire. And they just gave up. They just gave up right now. Did we lose any units? It looks like maybe we lost a unit of deckhands. Yeah, the dinosaur's just dead now. Well, that's the garrison of Hexawaddle that we just ran off. We lost a single unit of deckhands while killing over 800 beastmen. Or lizardmen, rather. 321 kills on Silostra, 286 on the Queen Bess. The Depth Guard joined the battle late and still got 50. Robert didn't get a lot of kills, but he was fighting dinosaurs and lords and stuff. I'm sure he did a lot of damage. I may have underestimated the value of the Queen Bess at first. It definitely has some accuracy problems, and we can help those a little bit with Silostra, but when it can work, man, it works. I didn't even see if that was all of its ammo. It might not have been. That battle resolved remarkably quickly. And I'm very, very happy about Van Geist's Revenge. I gotta target it a little bit better in the future, but like that first one was awesome. So now I think we probably have enough movement left to just take Hexawaddle. We definitely had the movement. We had quite a bit of movement left over when we hit this army. I think it should be enough to get us Hexawaddle this turn, which is crazy. So that's going to put the Lizardmen down to 1 province, I think. Alright, 973 gold. We would only get 190 for ransoming, so maybe this time I just want to take Assimilate Captives. This doesn't really help us that much, but I don't need 200 gold. And we are going back to fighting. So we got an Earthing Rod, which allows you to cast a buff on yourself that reduces your miscast chance completely. I don't think that's super relevant for Silostra, because she already has pretty low miscast chance. It's not 0, but it's low. What do we want to do with you? We have to spend 1 more skill point in this box in order to get to Foe Seeker, which is pretty valuable. So our choices are charge bonus, 3 points of armor, or 3 points of melee defense. I think I want the melee defense. The devastating charge, his charge bonus is already very high, and also charge bonus is better for players who are more attentive. I often have Robert just like stick in and fight people, so he's not actually getting his charge bonus all that often. In terms of armor, I just don't think he needs protection from physical damage. He has 80% physical resist because he's ethereal, on top of 23% ward save. So physical damage is already basically irrelevant. Hard to hit, though, will make him less likely to be hit by attacks in melee, which will make him better at fighting units in melee that deal magical damage, which is really the only weakness he currently has. I think that's a pretty good take. And then, while we're here, we may as well raise the dead. It's possible we have too many ranged units, but also handgunners are very good. Raise dead is too powerful. It needs to be toned down. Okay, well, the game suspects we will win this, and I agree. I agree with that assessment. They have a couple of pretty shattered units of Croxagors and Sauruses, but like mostly I don't care about any of this stuff. We could just auto-resolve. Let's manually fight it, though, just to try to minimize losses on our end. Although I guess now that I say that, I don't really care about losses on our end very much. The only things that I would be really sad to lose here would be, like, the Queen Bess or the Depth Guard. Or the Morngulls, I suppose. I want to keep those Morngulls. But Silostra and Robert are not going to die. And everything else that could die, I don't care if it does, because we can just get new ones. Like, trivially. With a lot of forces, you have to care about your elite units a little bit, not because they're limited in number, but because it's a pain to recruit more of them, and especially like if you're outside your own territory, and you're trying to global recruit good units, you're looking at like sometimes standing in the same place for 4 to 6 turns. But between Raise Dead and the fact that one of our most powerful units is only a tier 2 unit, and so it only has a 1-turn recruit time anyway, I just don't care. We just keep rolling. Okay, well here I think we can afford to gamble. There's basically no penalty for loss there. Okay, Randall is with you. It turns out sometimes gambling does pay. And it looks like the wall of the castle doesn't go all the way to the edge of the zone, which means that there are, in fact, dead zones for us to hide stuff in. So let's do this. And I'm a little worried that Queen Bess might be in the edge of the thing. Actually. So, the order that you select your units in matters. The reason that the mortars were to the left of the Queen Bess when I initially laid them out is because I had selected the mortars and then the Queen Bess. So you can mess with that by just changing which order you've equipped your guy or selected your guys in. Alright, let's have you guys stand all the way over here. I mean, we're pretty much just going to put everybody up against the wall, right? And then we're going to run forward. You all over here. Okay. So Control A, except not the artillery crews. Everybody just move up to this part of the wall, and we'll figure it all out afterward. And for the artillery crew, you should probably manually target a little bit. I'll have the mortars try to work Huh, that's an interesting place for that arrow to be drawn. I guess we'll have the mortars and the Queen Bess both try to work this unit, roughly. I'm going to have the Queen Bess aim at these guys in the back. And if it overshoots a little bit, then we just hit the Croxagors on the ground over there. That's not so bad. Yeah, look at that. Those are the fancy magic shooting towers. Yeah, we'll be out of firing range really, really soon here. So on this one, I'm not sure if we'll try to take the walls or if we'll just weaken them here with the mortar fire and then go for the gates again. Because that seemed to work pretty well last time. And they don't really have a lot of stuff to counteract an attempt like that. We can throw out a Vangeist's Revenge down on the ground inside the wall. I kind of want to do that. It's like if we target it right here, and we aim it like that, it should hit both the groups of Croxagors. And I think she should be able to cast that from there. Yeah, she's not moving. Oh man, please run right through the explosions. Oh, it like hit the wall and bounced off. That was weird. Okay, I didn't realize that that was a thing. So we really didn't do that much damage with that. That was a lot of wins for nothing. I'm going to hit our Wand of Jet right now. Go ahead and put everything on cooldown, because you pull power out of the bar faster when there's more power in the bar. Oh, I should make sure guard mode is on these guys, so they don't try to walk forward if they lose sight of their targets. Well, they're really only defending the walls with skinks. I guess there's some temple guard. Do we want to try to take the walls? We could send the depth guard up there first, or maybe like 2 relatively tough units of deck guard, and then or deck mob, and then the depth guard right behind him. And if we take control of the wall, then we can get the handgunners up on the wall, and then if we get the handgunners up on the wall, it's basically over. Ordinarily, you would want to use a unit that has, like, shields for this approaching the wall part, but obviously, we have no such thing. We do maybe want to chill out with the Queen Bess firing directly into where I'm putting my troops. That might be a good idea. I'm going to give it a second, though. Try to follow them up. Yeah, because like the artillery fire is doing a really, really good job. Let's let one more volley land, and then we'll cut the fire at will off these guys. Good shot. Sounds like the mortars are in the air. Yep, you can hear that whistle. Okay, so they don't have much left that can actually fight with us, and Croxagors are too big and clumsy to actually make it up onto the wall. So this is a very, very safe, like, dwarf-style siege strategy. Probably not actually necessary, but I'm trying not to lose any handgunners because they're, like, really, really good. Again, overvaluing individual troops, probably. It's a shame I don't really have any, like, buffs or anything. You generally can't cast damage spells on walls, and this would be the place where, with most lords, or most wizards, you'd be trying to cast buffs on your units. Can we just cast guys over the wall? It looks like it's giving me an invalid target warning everywhere on the other side of the wall. You can see when we're out of range, we don't get invalid target. So I guess the answer is no, I'm not allowed to summon stuff through the wall. They still have control of this tower for the moment, which is kind of annoying. I suppose what we could do with these two is start shooting at the Croxagors. Man, that was some serious damage. Yeah, they really, really don't have much left. Come on, get up there. Kill them all. We probably need to have some more troops get up on the wall and do some stuff. You know what? I'm going to have... As soon as they're no longer in control of this tower, I want to run across and climb up this wall, but running across the mouth of the tower is not a super good idea until that moment. Okay, I see their units breaking. Queen Bess is out of ammo. That's alright, it did some fine work. It's a shame the Morngulls can't be compelled to climb up the wall. I bet they could do it. They're so creepy. You know, you could see that happening in a horror movie, right? I guess we can get the other deckhands up here as well. Alright, so we have control of this tower. They are being pushed back pretty seriously. And that is, I think, time to start getting the deckhands up. They're not all actually going to go for the same ladders, are they? Because there's a lot of different ladders you can climb. I did that with them, assuming that they would elect to go up different spots all over the wall, as you saw when I had the number of deckhand mobs selected, and I just clicked here on the wall. They fanned out over it. But I'm not sure that the gunners were doing the same thing. Let's have Silostra. What do I want to do here? I guess I could probably just shoot another Overcast Vangeist's Revenge like this, because it doesn't seem like it's going to matter too much what we do with our Winds of Magic. It looks like I won't need them for a lot of the actual fighting. Let's see if we can just soften up these Croxagores. They're the only things here that are, like, dangerous at all. That was some okay damage. Croxes are tough, you know? I don't know why they decided they needed to stop these specific deckhands from getting up on the wall. They completely abandoned the other cause, but alright, I'll take it. Man, maybe it would be faster to just run over to the gate. I can't believe they still have control of this tower. I guess they technically have units inside the control box. They have like one guy. I have way more than they do, but well, we can't get control of it until we force them all out. My dudes are mostly just shooting the wall, which is probably damaging it slightly. Nope, fort wall indestructible. Never mind. Alright, well, it would seem to me that they are pretty screwed. Let's get up on the wall, and we'll just position ourselves up here and rain fire down, and hopefully that will be enough to convince them that it would be a good idea to go away. Because we don't necessarily need to fight them personally at all. The mortars are still shooting Croxagores. Why don't you guys just, like, run? Go hide behind a building or something. Why are they so devoted to standing still and taking it? Oh, we can probably accelerate this process a little bit. Honestly, I don't even really want to knock the gates down. I don't think there's a lot of value in knocking the gates down. I think we want to just get gunners up on the walls and, yeah, shoot at the enemy from the walls. Looks like we're very, very slowly getting that started. We also could just jump... Yeah, the units that are on this side of the wall can just jump down and take control of the gate. Then we can run these guys through. How about that? You can see now the gate is mine because we took over the control box. Probably go back to normal speed here. And at this point, I suppose we can start summoning units. So there's a control box for the center of town. You can see. If we take control of town, the victory points the defender has will start waning, and if we reduce their victory points completely, we win. Also, we can win by just, you know, killing them all or causing them all to surrender the way you can win any battle. Everybody, figure out a way to kill. There's no reason we should still be dealing with these things. I don't know where the heck all of my handgunners are, or why they have decided that they are too good for violence. I mean, the Pterodons, they don't even really seem to be attacking. You can see every once in a while, like, a half-hearted volley comes down. But we have now taken complete control of the center of town, which is giving them a huge leadership debuff. Yeah, alright, they'll be out. I don't know why my handgunners were so reluctant to get into position along the wall. I guess, you know, their legs are not great. But that is a decisive victory, and we now own Hexawaddle, which means we get to see exactly how much benefit we get out of that gold mine. We lost 104, and it's probably almost entirely deckhands. It looks like it might. Maybe we lost a Morgul. We have so much replenishment, too, in addition to the Raised Dead. Like, even Celestra is going to be back to full health in, like, 2 turns, probably. Especially if we're crouched inside of a friendly settlement. It might not even be 2 turns. So now we should have plenty of money, and we should have a boosted income. At some point, we do need to start putting together a second stack. What I'd really like is if we could put together, you know, put Vivian Bloodletter in charge of, like, 10 units or something, and have her play defense, if defense is necessary. While we have Celestra, I don't know exactly where she's going to go, but she should go somewhere and establish a bunch of coves by force, perhaps. We could just sail around the outside of Ulthuan, hitting every port city, taking their garrisons by storm, and then just establishing coves instead of taking them over or burning them. Okay, not a super valuable win, and that makes sense. Ooh, that's a lot of money. Okay, so we could sack this and then go back after it, but if we did that, it would still be a Lizardman settlement for another turn, and they could potentially, like, full move an army over into it. I'm just gonna take control. I don't want to mess with it. We've got ourselves a Burnt Banner of Knights, which enables flaming attacks on the assigned unit, which is actually pretty cool. Flaming attacks don't really mean a lot by themselves, but they... almost anything that has regeneration also has a significant weakness against fire damage. Do not look upon sorrowful gods, for where Isha's tears fall and swell, the secret you seek shall reside. Isha is an elf goddess. Or Isha, maybe. So... Oh. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. I was thinking this was going to be, like, referring to something on Ulthuan. Isha's tears way down here? I have no idea. It is, it did say that there was a miserly hoard of treasure, so I'm not too worried about that one. Okay, Celestra herself has leveled up. Ah, and this is the level that we get Arcane Conduit. That's wonderful. And yep, Celestra is going to replenish completely this coming turn. That's so good. We have so much replenishment. Alright, what do we want to do? First of all, is there anything cool in the pool? Not really. What do we want to do with our money? Where's my hero at? Okay, my hero is not in a place that really requires any money. Ooh, a mysterious island. Okay, yes, a mysterious island. That looks like a chaos portal to me. You can't investigate these with heroes, you have to do it with a lord. So, unfortunately, Eve will not be able to unearth whatever riches are there. Okay, we're still waiting for the building discounts to finish building here. We have the Ziggurat of Dawn over there, and it is a strategic location, and I believe it's in our new province. What do we have here? A gold mine that gives just 150 income. Well, that's disappointing, but I suppose this faction has enough sources of money anyway. And then this place has a non-specific landmark, so what is it? Actually, I do not see a unique building. Oh! Hey, we have 3 major settlements now, right? With the Maka Peaks or Maku Peaks and Hexawaddle. So actually, if we build plunder piles in both of our new things, we can get access to this right. So let's do that, and then... Oh, okay. I think it's the main settlement building is unique. That's what's being considered a landmark here, because look at how much money the main settlement building here generates. So actually, the plus 20% income from all buildings in this province is going to be really good here, too. Alright, so they do have an army left over. It's Mazdamundi leading 13 units, plus he's mustering. Plus, the Lizardmen have a right that summons a full stack of dinosaurs. I don't have any way of knowing whether that right is available to him right now, but I would be a little nervous about approaching. If we can't get all the way over there and just attack him, I'd be a little nervous about approaching and giving him time to pull that right off. Alright, can we, in Maku Peaks, build that treasure building? You know what? We probably don't need the Deckhand's Boneyard. Let's demolish that, and then we'll build the treasure building there. And then we should probably fix Port Reaver, because it looks like we're actually going to just try to hold this region. And speaking of holding this region, we probably need to put up one of these. That'll get our public order pretty positive. Oh, actually, our public order might be fine, because you see we're suffering from 10 points of provincial instability. That'll decline over time. We probably still need to make the public order building so that we don't get a rebellion in the interim. And then once provincial instability has died down, we can pull the public order building. So, the answer to what do we do with all this money is, what money? Who has money? Yeah, I guess we're just going to move on to the next turn. That was pretty good, though, for us. So yeah, we want to get a second navy going, like a real second navy with actual units and stuff in it. And hopefully get Vivian up to level 5 so that she can start serving in one of our pirate command offices. Okay, apparently that guy's going to just run into each of our towns and beat up everybody he can find and then run out. Unfortunately, not a huge amount I can do to stop him. We could send a hero after him. Like, we could send the paladin out and try to assassinate him. It might even work. I don't think I can recruit another Morngul Haunter. They're probably pretty good at assassination as well. But we have no way to replace our lost one. We're not that far off of having access to a Gunnery Wight, but my guess is the Gunnery Wights are not great at assassination, because generally speaking, each faction only gets one hero type that's good at it. We only have a second because of our one-off Magic Paladin. And then once we resolve this Lizardman nonsense, we still have to worry about all the elves. Because Nagaroth and Lothern are both at war with us, and I don't really have any idea what their situation is like, or if they're at war with other people, if they're distracted maybe. We might want to pop into the diplomacy screen in a second here once it's our turn, and try to suss out the situation a little bit. Because I really want to finish off the Lizardmen, but that might be a precarious thing to do if we are potentially going to get rushed down by elves while doing it. Okay, diplomacy. The drowned separatists are still out there somewhere. So, elves, high elves. Here we go. Lothern is currently at war with just us. Is ranked number 2 in the world in strength. And Nagaroth is at least at war with some of the dark elves, and is only 14th in strength. Out of curiosity, those dark elves are much weaker. Well, that's not great. I'm showing up as 51st. So, the Cult of Pleasure is weaker than we are. Not a good sign for them. Alright, so in Maku Peaks, I actually do want to get this building established. That's pretty important in terms of income. He's sitting on 14 units plus a 7-unit garrison of mostly skinks, but also some cold ones and stuff. And he himself is Mazdamundi. Now, he's only level 5, so he's way behind. But Mazdamundi is definitely one of the better spellcasters. I guess the fact that he's so far behind probably blunts that significantly. And we have so much movement that we could maybe just go over there and ride on him. I don't actually know if they are alone. Hold on. Diplomacy. Exoatl is ranked 72nd with only one settlement. They almost certainly don't have another stack then if they're rating weaker than we are.
I need an audience.
So 21 of their units versus 20 of my units, but one of my units is actually 5 units. I kind of want to go for it. I think we're going to... let's do it. Let's go for it. If this doesn't work out, they probably get to retake Hexoatl, which is not great.
Master.
Do I have the money to build a garrison building? So here's what I'm thinking. If we start this now, and we wait until next turn to attack, this will be completed before they could counterattack, which will probably make them unable to retake Hexoatl instantly. But also, every turn we wait... oh, the garrison is already completely healed. I assumed that we would be setting up a weak garrison they'd have to heal over time. Maybe we can just go. I'm just gonna go. Let's do it. Let's sing the Song of Death, shall we? You know how I feel about the Song of Death. They don't have to worry about them popping that right during my turn. Okay, so we got this banner, this burnt banner of knights. Who wants fire attacks? I don't even know what value those have at the moment. The unit that takes this does also get 10% or a 10-point charge bonus, which I guess is you. You have fire attacks now. That's probably cool. And we're looking at Mazda Mundi, 2 skink priests, only 2 units of Sauruses in this army, although they do have a Blessed Bastillodon with a solar engine on its back. This is an artillery dinosaur with a giant laser cannon. So we have to be concerned about that. It gives the blinded debuff to things that it hits. We got to get the handgunners in there. And then they have 3 units of cavalry between the 2 forces, a couple of dinosaurs, a couple more units of Sauruses. Honestly, I think we can do this. This doesn't really look that much different from some other battles that we've already won. Part of the danger here is that because we're attacking them in the settlement, they get to set up both of their forces at once, so we don't get that trickle in. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that the Queen Bess is maybe a little bit better at this long-range combat than their dinosaur is going to be. And keep in mind, this thing is shooting a laser beam, so it needs direct line of sight. So we might be able to take advantage of that. I don't know how hilly the terrain is, but it's possible we could put the mortars and the Queen Bess behind a little bit of raised terrain and make them immune to laser fire. The greatest danger here is going to come from them getting cold ones around our formation into our artillery or ranged, I think. We do have the ability to suddenly summon new units on top of any of our range that get in trouble. We're not going to gamble on 17. I'm cool with a 17 start. And yeah, look at that. The terrain is a little bit uneven. Unfortunately, I don't think it's uneven enough because the Queen Bess and the mortars are both quite large. But we could put them behind all these trees, maybe? Yeah, what if I did like this? I don't want them to have to fire up through trees. I just want them to be on the other side of some trees. But you know what? We probably want to be firing deep enough into their deployment zone that we can hit whatever right away, right? We don't have to try to move forward. They only have the 1 piece of artillery, and it's probably not that good at actually killing huge amounts of spread out units. Wow, we can post a really, really wide gun line. And you guys can be over here. So, by the way, somebody pointed out in the comments of the last episode a thing that I should probably have remembered. The Lizardmen, some of the Lizardmen units, and I believe among them Sauruses, so it's very common in an army, have a predatory senses skill that makes it so that they detect stealthier units more easily. So that's part of why stealth has not been working the way I want it to. These Beastmen, they can smell you. Honestly, probably anybody can smell our army from a very significant distance. I might just do the old everybody behind move here. I know this is not super ideal because when we run through, the gunners are going to lose their clean line of sight. But I don't really know where else to put them to make sure that we're going to be able to get in on the enemies. What we probably should do, actually, is thin our gun line a bit. Do something a little bit more like this and put some holes in it, and then we can have the melee troops stand in the holes. That'll give us the ability to quickly respond to incoming cavalry. So where is my... Okay. My polearm mob probably should be right here. Where do I want them? They can probably be right here, actually, because the odds are we're not going to be firing this way. I'll wing them out a little bit, but we're going to be firing like that, mostly. And then, yeah, these guys can just be, like, very narrowly in here. Or actually, I hesitate to put them forward, because I think that they will block line of sight. But this will give us the ability to run forward and get in front of them a little bit quicker. Which means I don't have to screw up my firing lines quite as early for defensive purposes. Depth guard out on this side. Man, look at them, like, having a real formation and stuff. Morngul's in a reasonable flanking position. Is anybody in a place that just doesn't make sense? You two kind of have to figure out what you want to do. Okay, I think that's reasonable. So as soon as they're visible, let's pause here and figure out targets. Obviously, the Queen Bess wants to be raining death on people who are in the middle of the fat grouping because accuracy. And actually, we have so much Winds of Magic available that we probably actually do want to use some of that shot buff, right? Okay, the overcast increases effect duration, but this one's a little bit more likely to overcast than the others because I don't think I leveled it up. So why don't we just do a normal spiteful shot on the Queen Bess? Try not to miss. Oh, and we can hit Arcane Conduit right away. No sense not using it every single time it's available. It has no downsides. It's just great. We should probably control group these guys for quick retargets. Really good shots. Queen Bess managed to miss hardcore despite the accuracy buff. Oh man, we're gonna shred the dinosaurs when they get in range. There you go, that's what I want to see. How far out can I cast the Revenge? Okay, it has a considerable cast range. Probably the best thing to do would be to wait until we're actually engaged in combat, though, so I don't have to try to lead enemies just the right amount. Please focus that. So let's see. As they approach, how do we want to mix it up here? I probably want the gunnery mobs on this side to start in on those guys, and let's have the spears move out to get the flank, because they're clearly going for the flank. This is probably a good time to spawn us up some units. Probably, do I want to lead with crabs, maybe? We'll have enough time after the crabs go off to get back up to the 19 for the big Vangeist. Although, you know what? Maybe what I want to do with the Vangeist is try to target it, or try to lead it just enough that we're firing down the line of skinks as the other stuff is walking through. Which means we wouldn't actually have time, necessarily, for that. I'm a little worried, though, that the polearm mobs are not going to be able to handle both of these guys. You could turn and take care of those pterodon riders. You should probably be working the dinosaur. You can help them work that dinosaur. And since we're now focusing our melee on either, or we're now focusing our ranged on either large enemies or enemies that are flying, we can probably afford to just have all these dudes come up and form the line, right? And the Queen Bess, probably doesn't actually want to retarget. I think those Saurus warriors are among the most dangerous things on the field here. The mortars are currently targeting those guys, which is also fine. You guys could probably just be targeting those guys since you're not going to do meaningful damage to the dinosaur anyway. And the Mourngulls are going to hold the Spear Riders in place for a moment until the Paladin gets in and then probably try to break off. And now we got to make this decision about the spellcasting. We could summon Knights to help fight off the Cold Ones, which I guess is fine. It doesn't leave us in a place where we might not be able to get the Vangeist thing off. Let's do that. I'm going to summon them back here so that they can come around the side like that. Let's get that cast, and then... Actually, she should probably run forward with the melee, right? This is part of her job. Kind of seems like they're not attacking. And then we want to get that Vangeist off. So, how do we aim it? What is the best way to aim this? Like, sorry. Overcast Vangeist right here? That's going to get us some pretty good kills. It's probably... Oh, that's too close, though. Shoot. If I try to cast another spell, it will uncast. Okay. That's right. I got to cast this further out because it doesn't... It won't hit anything that's actually in the graphical effect. That's pretty good. Alright, Celestra, is she just gonna wander in and attack the dinosaur? Maybe. I don't see any reason not to. The Vangeist cast just, like, extremely did not happen. Sometimes you will still cast a spell, even if you move while ordering the cast, and sometimes you won't. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason. Alright, maybe we cast it on this side, aiming down the line of skinks. Do I even want to overcast if I'm just shooting through skinks? Maybe not, actually. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, I'm going to wait for this to actually go off before issuing any other orders, just so that we know it does. And then as soon as it... Okay, there we go. Pop this thing. And, okay, we're doing some good damage on the large stuff over here. Alright, lots of basically good things going on. We got some dying occurring. I did not pull the Mourngulls because I was too worried about the casting. Okay, we got one dinosaur down. So let's refocus this gunnery mob on Mazdamundi. Because screw him, he's got to die. This dinosaur's almost dead. Refocus these gunnery mobs on the Bastillodon with the laser. Looks like we're doing some good work over here. Let's get some more spell casts off. Get a little bit of that, get a little bit of this. We could use some additional units here. And now with the units up, I think this is an okay time to hit the Wand of Jet. I think we're under control for the moment. So hold on, let me make sure all of our what do you call it? It's our in reasonable targeting position, all of our handguns. You also start working over Mazdamundi. Let's try to get through him as quickly as we can. It looks like the handgunners are in the Sauruses over here a little bit. Oh no, they're close, but not quite. You're still doing a valuable thing. The Mourngulls, I gotta pay more attention to Mourngulls to keep them alive. That's something of a problem for me. Try to aim the Queen Bess away from my own troops for the moment. Yeah, right? The mortars are also focused on those guys, but honestly, yeah, I think the skinks are the best thing for the artillery to be doing at the moment. And after Robert finishes off these guys, he needs to get back over here because we have a lot of fighting for him to do. Okay, the laser Bastillodon is dead now. These gunners could focus on the Cold One Riders. We can probably shoot them over our troops. You guys work on Mazdamundi. Apparently, my gunners need some help with this. Not getting this done. Also, these Cold One Riders are lasting a surprisingly long time. Once we get rid of Mazda Mundi, their morale is going to take a very serious hit. You know what? I'm going to enable guard mode on these dudes as the enemy starts to run away, just so that we know our ranged aren't going to run way out and get themselves killed. And at this point, with those guys wavering and everything, I'm going to full ranged refocus on Mazda Mundi. Let's try to actually get rid of him. He's looking pretty wounded. Alright, her stuff's coming back up. Let's go for another unit of crabs. She seems to have this situation under control. Yeah, Mazda Mundi's going down. Handgunners are bananas. Don't think this is a good situation for a Vangeist, really, so let's throw out some other buffs. It looks like they're wavering. They're about to give up. Yep, there it is. Killed Mazda Mundi again, and that is the end of Hexawaddle. So hey, that's a serious campaign objective completed there. And also, this should give us pretty easy control of this province. So now we're going to have 3 full provinces in the middle of the west side of the map, and unfortunately, it's going to put our borders right up against Alithanar and his Nagaroth, which is unfortunately already at war with us. So we probably will need an army in place to play defense against him then. I don't think it needs to be Silostra. Silostra is probably better off running around fighting more difficult garrisons and getting us more coves. Because we got to fund that second army somehow, right? But we probably need to start putting it together, like, now. And honestly, we didn't really lose too much of imports. Like, Morngul's are so fragile. They seem really cool, more than really effective. I haven't gotten a chance to see how effective they are, because they never survive if they get attacked by anything. I'm going to have to stop trying to put them in side flanking positions. That's really a move for people who want to flank but are a little bit tougher. It seems like if anything gets on the Mongols, they die immediately. So they need to be, like, behind our lines, and then once battle is joined, they can flank around. They are faster than most of our units, which does lend to using them that way.
Take it for me.
Oh, we got the Power Stone. Oh. Man, maybe we should give Silostra that. Hexawaddle is gone. We're going to change Silostra's gear a little bit. Place the Wand of Jet with the Power Stone. We rarely use the Wand of Jet more than once anyway. Oh, we do have this armor, don't we? You know what? We'll put the armor on our second Lord. Whoever's actually going to be engaging in combat. Because Silostra and the Paladin both definitely do not need it. Also, we're going to get something else. Something that isn't a spell now, maybe. What is this? We've unlocked this line. +1 recruit rank for all units, minus raised dead cost. That's okay. Plus hero capacity and recruit rank for Morngul Haunters. That does fit into our goals. Cooldown minus 20% and winds of magic cost -2 for overcast spells. Okay, so we need this. We're definitely taking From the Depths because we need Fiery Diva. Upkeep way down for bloated corpses. Physical resist for Sirens and Morngul Haunters. Okay, interesting. And eventually, an even greater reduction in miscast base chance. Okay, so this line is wonderful. Once we get that finished, then we can look at her red and blue lines and see if either one of those are worth pursuing at all. So we have $3,200. Let's get Eve over here. She might actually be able to see this port city this turn. How far are we from being able to establish another cove? 3 turns? Okay, so Magritta actually belongs to the Dreadfleet. It is a reasonably powerful port. And hey, look, that's Rosalind. She's managed to recruit a unit of bloated corpses, so good for her. I assume nobody else in the world will go to war with her, because she probably doesn't she's not actually hurting them, although she is raiding them. But probably she's just going to sit over here until we come and deal with her. Ah well. So we could go for this. We have 3 turns until we can put down a cove. The city that I most want to put another cove in is all the way up here. So that's a lot more than 3 turns worth of travel, but it's probably less than, or fewer than 13 turns worth of travel. So we have to decide whether we want to put a cove down here somewhere and then float up there and wait a while, or whether I just want a beeline for Marienbad. I think we're just going to go for Marienbad. This 800 is disappointing. It's far less than I was hoping for. Alright, what else do we have going on? We have some money that we should probably use to upgrade some stuff. Oh, right, she needs to upgrade her ship some more, right? Because we want a gunnery white. And also access to these guys. So that's probably a good thing to do for right now. They really, really don't care for me, so we're probably not going to be able to get out of this war without really pressuring them. I mean, maybe this is what Silostra is doing for the foreseeable future, is fighting these guys. I really wanted to go around and establish coves. I want more income. So we probably don't want to start building our second army right now. Okay, here we have spices and a public order building already. Pretty handy. Although, obviously, the Fallen Gates is going to need a real garrison structure. And this does have a... Oh, it has a landmark just for lizard men. That's a shame. Wonder, like, do I need to maybe demolish the Eastern Bazaar to make room for the garrison building? Because we kind of need it now. Also, I guess this being the case, we maybe don't need this garrison building here. I could get this money back. Because now Fallen Gates is the front of the fight here. We're going to want to take the Ziggurat of Dawn and probably Skeggy as well. Just solidify our hold. Maybe we could start recruiting our new lord. Because the thing is, we're going to have to bring in Vivian. She's going to have no movement on the first turn. Then we need her to like actually run around and get stuff for us. There's a shipwreck or something over here. A different kind of mysterious island, I guess. That might have some real cash on it. Although maybe we should search that with Silostra, because it might be one of those things where you can win a battle for even more money. Although I guess, how would Silostra even get down there? This is all cliffs, right? Yeah, she'd have to go all the way up to Sildrator.
No.
But you know what? If we're going to summon our new lord, we summon her in Port Reaver, right? Because that way she can take advantage of the big raised dead pool, so she doesn't necessarily need to recruit anything this turn. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get Vivian in here. Let's get started building up our new army. By the way, I want to talk about ruins for a second. Maybe this is how we'll end the video, is by checking out that ruin. So I think I'm gonna, for right now though, I'm gonna save my money. I'm not gonna do anything else. Did we start building? Yeah, okay, this is getting built. So next turn we'll be able to get an infusion of money from the plunder pile, right? I think I am gonna demolish this to put up the garrison building. Alright, so we're gonna get a bunch of money next turn. So in Total War Warhammer 2 at launch, ruined cities, you had the ability to search a ruin instead of colonizing it if you wanted to. And when you did that, it basically just gave you a little choice, the results of which seemed to be pretty much random. Sometimes you would get treasure, sometimes you would get nothing. Hey, don't steal my technology. I don't know what technology, I guess gunpowder? Elves don't have gunpowder, right? Actually, that would be pretty bad for us if they figured out how to use rifles. But somebody told me that they changed the ruin searching system in the patch that came along with the Vampire Coast, and that when you search a ruin, you now get a puzzle, and you can solve the puzzle correctly and be guaranteed to get a reward. So I want to see that. We're going to end this video by having, what's-her-face, Vivian, run up to the Ziggurat of Dawn and try to grab us a puzzle. Hopefully it will be... Well, first of all, hopefully that thing I was told is true. And secondly, hopefully it will be an interesting puzzle. And a huge amount of money behind the puzzle. It kind of has to be a huge amount of money for it to be worthwhile, because you're spending an army's full turn to do that. Actually, can you search ruins with a hero? You can definitely check the ruins and verify if they're actually ruins or a hidden Skaven settlement with a hero. I'm not sure if you can do a proper ruin search with a hero. If you can search them with a hero, then I guess the reward doesn't necessarily have to be huge. Oh, really? Skeggy was How are Lothern and Skeggy working together? How is that happening? Well, the good news is we have that great big raised dead pool. I guess the other good news is I don't have to declare war on them. They're just bringing it right to us, so maybe we're not going to get to check that ruin after all. Oh, hey, we did this, though. That's 4,000 extra gold. And Aminar has risen. Okay, a sea region really far away from us is under attack. Celestra provides even more public order now for hanging out for a long time in areas where we don't have good public order. We unlock that right. Our next chapter objective is the same thing, but this time 10 cities. Alright, so before we do anything else, let's get in here and get ourselves 1,500 gold. So we have to do that every 15 turns. It's just free money. It may even be more gold by the next time we do it. So we need to make sure that we have enough money to get this garrison building established. I feel pretty strongly about... Oop, that's not even the right slot. I feel pretty strongly about this. City has to look tough. And then the rest of our money can go entirely into the army at Port Reavers. So, hold on. I want to move our hero first, because that's a pretty straightforward play. We're just going up the coast. Alright, let us discover what exactly is going on up here. How far in does the Dread Fleet control? Okay, it looks like at least some of the Bretonnians are still alive. Bilbali is probably not worth establishing a cove in.
He brings death.
Alright, let's do this thing. Does look like the raised dead pool is maybe getting a little bit weaker. What are they bringing to fight us? They stopped just outside of Port Reavers' reinforcement range, it looks like.
You will.
Oh, no. We totally get Port Reavers' reinforcements here. Alright, so we're definitely going to grab the mortar. We're definitely going to grab all 3 units of handgunners. Let's get... Sure, bombers. We could get some terrible bats. I don't really like that very much. Bloated corpses are probably actually going to be pretty good against Norska, which is very much like a massed infantry sort of faction. I'm going to get 2 bloated corpses. We're going to need... they do potentially have horses. Deck droppers with proper handguns. That's interesting. We should probably grab the animated hulks, because they're the toughest things we can field here.
Too much purity.
That's 4,400. We could get the cannons, because we only have 1 siege weapon in here currently. I don't love cannons, but artillery is very powerful. I wasn't very impressed with the hand cannon gunnery mob. Yeah, I don't know if I like these guys. I guess we're going to be a little short on guns without them, though. And then we're going to need definitely just like bodies to hold the ground and play tar pit. Let's do that. Okay, so we get 2 more. Do I have any hero slots or anything available? I probably don't. No.
Standing by.
So 2 more units.
Refused.
We see throwing axes and spear throwers. My concern with flying units is that Norska can run a lot of these like skirmisher spear thrower type units, and I think our bat guys would just get torn out of the sky by those. Let's just raise some more normal fighting dead. You know, honestly, some normal gunnery mobs are probably fine. A lot of Norskan units don't have much armor. We do see Marauder champions, though. These guys are tough. These are definitely handgunner, artillery-type targets.
Yes, master.
So, as it stands now, we were able to put together a whole second army, but we're quite low on cash now. And these guys are just dead, right? Like, they marched to us, so they can't retreat, and we get our settlement garrison, so a 3rd bloated corpse. Oh, but their stack is almost entirely Marauder champions. Okay, well... this will be interesting. I wasn't planning to have another big battle here after the hour mark, but I guess we're doing it. Because if we win this battle, I think we do still get to check out that ruin. And I told you I would check the ruin. I told you we would see the puzzle. Hopefully this will be worth the money. I mean, it's a pretty advanced stack. This is a lot of Marauder champions, so hopefully it'll be worth some good cash. They have to come to us, so we can sit back. We got to try to find a way to make sure the cannons have the largest open sightline possible. So I'd like to be all the way at the back of our reinforcement zone, but we'll see how the terrain works out for that. I'm seeing some shading here, which probably indicates elevation, but I don't know. Dark is probably lower, right? So this might not be a good spot for us. The mortar can do its work from anywhere. Man, I like mortars a lot more than I like cannons. I think cannons in general are pretty bad. Oh, you are actually a caster, aren't you? So yeah, all the way at the back of our reinforcement zone is kind of not great. And in fact, honestly, everywhere is bad here. Okay. Cannons here is not horrible. Let's just start deployment on 12. I'm fine with 12. So what spells do you have? The aspect of the Dread Knight buffs a unit to have leadership and terror. And the Spirit Leech, which does quite a bit of damage to particularly a single person. This is like a Lord sniping spell. And then, like, what's your... You do not have the Hunger. Interesting, because of the fact, like, vampires generally have the Hunger. She's a bit of a ranged vampire, though. Considerable missile damage, mostly armor piercing. Her weapon strength is high, less armor piercing, or a smaller percentage of it is armor piercing. Yeah, okay, so she's mostly a shooter. How do we want to do this? How do we want to line up? We're mostly just going to have to deal with armored champions coming in. They don't really have a lot of fast stuff. The fast stuff they do have isn't, like, charge you and kill you stuff. It's ranged. Put her, like, up front. So we probably have a lot of time. I can just set up the infantry to the sides, and we have plenty of time to close in if it becomes a problem. The bloated corpses, I'm going to set out toward the sides, hopefully in places where they're kind of hidden. Because obviously I'd like them not to be consciously targeted. Got bloated corpses over here. Alright, we have some normal gunnery mobs and the bombers. I don't want the bombers in with the main line. If I put the bombers right here, they're going to move right toward that bloated corpse. The bloated corpse could be, like, further out to the side, I guess. Let the bombers be right here, and we'll move these guys out. Move that whole setup. Alright, what else do we have out here? We have a couple more units of crummy gunners, which I think we're going to... Yeah, maybe do this. Like, move all of these guys over. So we have a pretty wide concave here. And the one unit of pole arms is a little bit specialized and gets to stand back here. Alright. We don't have great vision of them, but we have some deck droppers coming in as reinforcements. I'm going to use those to establish vision if I can. This bloated corpse can, like, be all the way over here. More random gunnery mobs. I guess this side? More random deckhands also this side. Then we're going to take these guys and move forward and try to give it a little bit of spotting so our mortar can open fire. I gotta say, I have not been impressed with the deck droppers so far, but we've only tried the basic version, which is a small number of bad weapon firing units. So maybe the advanced versions with the gunner or with the bombers or the handgunners will be a little bit more interesting. I could definitely see how a flying unit of bombers could have some serious value. Let's get over the hill and find our mortars a target. We'll probably speed this up a little bit. Now we do a little bit careful because we don't want to get a lot of spears thrown at us. Okay, we can see that. That's weird. Where is the edge of my mortar's firing range? I guess I don't really need to be any further forward than the edge of the mortar range. Wonder, like, are they coming around through the forest at us? Is that their plan? If it is, they shall be unpleasantly surprised by this bloated corpse. They really are just like a really heavy, foot-slogging version of the Norscan army, though. So it might, yeah, it might, in fact, be very much the case that they are just wandering around in the forest. Well, what do we want to do about that? I don't really want to advance on them. I kind of figured they would come to me, even though they don't really have to, because the AI often does. I wish I had more units with, like, with stealth. Because I would love to be able to get vision of these guys in the forest without them necessarily having vision of me, so that we could target them with artillery fire from a distance. We have to fight very differently without Silostra and Robert to do all of the all that buoying us up. Oh god. Also, these bats have some serious inertia. It's very difficult to get them to start moving. Seems like they mostly missed their attack there. Well, they're chasing me around. But I doubt they will pursue me into the open. We're going to try it. But my guess is this will not work. We're going to have to start moving our units in. Alright, so let's control group people up. This group of melee can be 2. Group over here of melee can be 3. Probably not you. Yeah, they're not going to follow me. They're going to make me come to them. Well, that is the right thing to do in their situation. Because they are massively advantaged if we don't get to use our ranged on them effectively. Alright, here's what I want to do. We're going to move the artillery up to here. If they want to stay in the forest, we're going to take that opportunity to reposition in a way that is at least semi-intelligent. Put my cannons on a position here where they can, like right here. Yeah, where they can actually fire up the hill a little bit. We're going to have our melee groups take the field around that to try to make it so that it is awkward for the enemy to interrupt my artillery movement. Alright, and then we want to figure out a new set of moves for these bloated corpses. I mean, the right thing to do is to flank, like, all the way around with 2 of them and have the other one approach from the close side, right? But this is a little tricky because if I get seen before I see them, I probably will not get to hit them the way I would like. We need to wait until stuff is in position before we can really have the bats do any scouting, unfortunately. I'm noticing that there's no timer for this battle for some reason. There should definitely be a timer counting down. I'm hoping to just walk right in behind them. We still got a lot of travel time left. And if this bloated corpse doesn't actually get a lot of value, that's not a big deal. Okay, I'm noticing that they exclusively have Marauder Horsemen everywhere I look. Where the heck are their infantry? You know what? If I can get these Marauder Horsemen, I'll take them. Yeah, that was like half a unit. That's not too bad. Marauder Horsemen are seriously annoying. Okay. We got some actual... There's some actual combat happening now. Let's pay attention. Get up here. Get ready to actually fire. But I do love the artillery actually getting to do stuff. These are all champions. Yeah, they're all good targets for exploding on. Although, you know, I'll take the Marauder Horsemen if they let me. No, wait, not the Marauders, not the Marauders. The normal Marauders are total baby troops. I want to get these champions. Oh, they're going to let me kind of have both, it looks like. Oh, he got stuck on that big tree. Oh, wow, that was good. Okay. So, let's pay attention to all of this stuff. They've got their Marauder Horsemen. I'm going to focus on those with these guys for the moment. And actually, if we can get the normal gunnery mobs on them as well, that would be great. We'll have the melee troops try to focus up on the Marauder champions. Deckhand mobs are going to get torn to pieces by Marauder champions, but I don't necessarily think that that's going to be the end of that story, because we can get them, we can hold them in place, and then we can get the bombers around the side, and make some stuff happen. Hopefully, this is Vivian. She's running as fast as she can. She needs a horse or something. She's considerably slower than even our artillery units. Let's see, there's more Marauder champions on this side. I kind of think I'm just going to have the Bloated Corpse charge them. And we need to start moving these guys up right now. If we can move these guys a little bit deeper and get more of a flanking motion going on. Yeah, we'll see how this actually works out in practice. I'm a little worried about the closeness of these enemies. You guys probably have them, right? It would be best if you guys had them. We should start firing on Marauder champions immediately. I'm debating whether we need to have the handguns fall back, basically. I underestimated their speed because I'm used to units moving at the speed I move at. I'm wondering if I am maybe too close here. I move the Carronade back. We could still have okay line of sight. I don't really want to go past the crest of the hill here. Yeah, let's have these units like actually run in and replace them as they fall back, and then we can figure out angles after that. But I'd rather the melee not get all the way into my handgunners. Okay, it looks like we're cool. Looks like we're fine. Speaking of handgunners, there's some Marauder champions over here I would love for you to shoot at. Wow, she took a big chunk out of their morale. So one thing that I know about Norskins from playing Norska is that they have serious leadership issues. They find it very, very difficult to keep fighting in situations where they are being intimidated in any way at all. And you might think, oh, but how does that make sense? They're like super tough macho guys. I got a secret for you. That's how all super tough macho guys are. All that I'm so badass stuff is hyper compensation. Okay, the Bombardiers are doing an okay job. Fleet Admiral is fighting off these Marauder champions kind of by herself right now. I'm going to have these guys try to move, like, over to here, and there we go. That's probably a pretty clean angle. Into their flank. Kind of want the bomb guys to get all the way over here if they can. Let's just try to make sure we're keeping up with stuff as much as we can. So we're probably going to win this fight by breaking their morale, if we win the fight at all. I'm hopeful, but, you know, cautiously hopeful, as always. We probably need to back off. We got to watch out for their skirmishy type units. We are just not going to be able to catch javelins. So we need to make sure that the handgunners are getting away, which they are currently like doing a terrible job of doing. All these hunters are dead. Let's do our best. Actually, that's a hero. I can't really shoot that guy. He's too deep in my mobs. Kind of think this is what I want to do with this unit. We're going to have these units all splitting off to open up that angle, and then these 2 units of handgunners need to, ideally, open up on these guys. The Carronade probably has to keep firing if we want to win. We probably can't afford to have them move. And I think the mortars probably need to start firing into this group of enemies. And I think we need to cast some spells. So, plus leadership and the ability to cause terror. Terror is like fear, except terror is like fear in that it causes a morale penalty to units that fight them, but it also will cause units to just like spontaneously break and then just for a second, and they'll reform. But you guys are not really getting that. Oh, there we go. Okay, there's the volley. I was wondering if some of them were having a hard time getting the angle. Let those guys have it. I'm going to keep an eye on Vivian and cast a lot of spells. Soul Leech is not, or Spirit Leech rather, is not useless against non-single unit enemies. It's not great against them, but like we should cast because we got way more winds of magic than we know what to do with here. Come on. Some Marauder Champions got into the lines. The mortars are exclusively hitting my own units, which is awesome. Yeah, and I need Vivian to clean this nonsense up because she has other things to do. She has to go fight their lord. So I think the shotguns probably, it looks like, will clean these guys up. Maybe not. Jesus. Hand cannons. Not amazing. I think they're basically shotguns. I don't know how there are still Marauder Hunters, but could you please, like, make that not be the case anymore? You 2 need to be shooting there. Yeah, we're losing our Carronade. The Carronades are... It does seem like Carronades are just worse than mortars. I'm not sure why they cost more. Any unit that requires direct line of sight is going to have to be, like, so hugely better than a unit that doesn't. Because it's really, really easy to deny direct line of sight. Easy enough that you can do it accidentally. Alright, I cannot overcast this, right? Alright. Try to get a spell cast off on this guy. Huh, that's weird. It just unselected my caster instead of committing the spell. There we go. Having a heck of a time getting my units to actually attack stuff. This forest setting is really bad for us. The whole existence of this Skeggy army is bad for us.
Pistols loaded.
You know what kind of seems like we're going to lose? You guys try to cause some terror over here. Spirit Leech is pretty powerful. It's a lot better when you can overcast it. Because you can cast it from super far away. It doesn't increase the effectiveness or anything. It just makes you able to cast it from like across the battlefield. Yeah, so all of our crew on this side are dead, and yet we're just going to actually lose this battle. We're going to lose a battle to a bunch of terrible Norskin troops. Because I don't have Silostra and Robert here to carry me. I was kind of hoping that if we got rid of their lord, that would be enough to break them down. And you can see none of them are hanging out like super high morale. Well, not none of them, but few of them. These guys back up enough to actually use some of their remaining ammo. The bombers threw all their stuff. Our lord is a huge baby, and she doesn't like being shot. Can you imagine the cowardice? $438 kills, 353 kills. Man. Marauder champions. The good news is we messed them up. They're definitely hurting. Bad news is this was all my money, so we can't even immediately hire another new lord and put him in position. So we got to figure out what we're going to do with Silostra. I don't want to have to come back and fight Skeggy, but like obviously that's what we have to do. And unfortunately, me having to come back and fight Skeggy means that there is an opening for Nagaroth to come and interrupt our control of our northern territories. Because we just have too much land. To some degree, this is unavoidable. Our overall mission objectives include controlling a very large amount of territory, so we were going to have to take stuff eventually. I was really hoping that Vivian was going to make this happen, but it's just too many. It's too many Marauder champions. Well, the good news here is that it will be easy to get rid of Skeggy. Like, it's not going to be a long campaign. They only have the one city. Okay, so Madame Silostra gets over here, and that will prevent them from taking Port Reaver, because I'm in its reinforcement range now. And we can fill her army the rest of the way up. We didn't actually run out of money. We have a little bit of raised dead fuel left. So what would be good in Silostra's army? She has needs that are slightly different. Honestly, it might just be bodies. Like a bloated corpse and 2 deckhands. I really don't think the flyers are... You know... Deck dropper bombers might be okay here. We killed a fair number of their ranged troops, right? Yeah, they have a couple units of axe throwers, 1 horseman, 1 javelin. None of them are in great shape. With what Silostra has available here, taking some deck gunners might actually, or deck droppers might actually be a little bit better. Yeah, we'll do this for right now. Well, I guess the silver lining here, if you really want to see it, is that now we're making a lot of money again. Was Vivian killed or wounded? She's probably killed, right? Yeah, okay. That was our only lord that had a level on her. Oh well, we'll be okay. I was really hoping to bolster the Fallen Gates. It's going to be 2 turns before the garrison structure's up, and even with this, we still don't have walls. It'll be a 13-unit garrison, but there won't be any walls up unless we can get Fallen Gates to level 3 and then build the level 3 garrison structure. So we really can't afford to be over here for very long. I don't even really want to be like going all the way to Skeggy and the Ziggurat of Dawn. We just don't have a choice. But I think that is going to have to be the end of that for today. These episodes always end up being so long. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time when we take our vengeance on Skeggy, and then on Nagaroth, and then on Lothern, and then on every other faction that every one of them is going to invite to join them in the war. And we'll see you then.